words of Sri Aurobindo from the book The Mother, with letters on the Mother by our Lord from the collective works of Sri Aurobindo, Volume 32, page 150, topic opening, Sincerity and the Mother's Grace. Subtopic, the meaning of opening. Question, what is real opening? For this our Lord says, it is the receptivity to the Mother's presence and her forces. Question, what is the right and perfect rule of opening? Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says, aspiration, quietude, widening of oneself to receive, rejection of all that tries to shut you to the divine. Let me repeat, aspiration, quietude, widening of oneself to receive, rejection of all that tries to shut you to the divine. Question, how shall I know that I am opening to the Mother and not to the other forces? Our Lord says, you have to be vigilant and see that there is no moment of disturbance, desire or ego. Question, what are the signs of a real opening to the Mother? Our Lord says, that shows itself at once. When you feel the divine peace, equality, wideness, light, ananda, knowledge, strength, when you are aware of the Mother's nearness or presence or the working of her force, etc. If any of these things are felt, it is the opening. The more are felt, the more complete the opening. Question, what is the way to open all the knots of the being? Sri Aurobindo says, by aspiration, by consent of the being to the workings of the divine force, by the descent and working of that force. Question, what does opening mean? It is not to keep anything secret from the Mother. For this our Lord says, that is the first step towards opening. Question, how does one open? Our Lord says, by faith, surrender in a quiet mind. Date 18th June 1933. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says to be open is simply to be so turned to the Divine Mother that her force can work in you without anything refusing or obstructing her action. If the mind is shut up in its own ideas and refuses to allow her to bring in the light and the truth, if the vital clings to its desires and does not admit the true initiative and impulsions that the Mother's power brings, if the physical is shut up in its desires, habits, inertia, and does not allow the light and force to enter in it and work, then one is not open. It is not possible to be entirely open at all at once in all moments, but there must be a central opening in each part and a dominant aspiration or will in each part, and to admit only the Mother's working, and the rest will progressively be done. To remain open to the Mother is to always remain quiet and happy and confident, not restless, not grieving or desponding, to let her force work in you, guide you, give you knowledge, give you peace and ananda. If you cannot keep yourself open, then aspire constantly but quietly that you may be open. Next topic, opening to the Mother and integral yoga. Question, I cannot understand whether I am doing yoga. Can it be said that I am doing your Purna Yoga? For this our Lord says, everyone who is turned to the Mother is doing my yoga. It is a great mistake to suppose that one can do the Purna Yoga, that is to carry out and fulfill all the sides of yoga by one's own effort. No human being can do that. What one has to do is to put oneself in the Mother's hands and open oneself to her by service, by bhakti, by aspiration. Then the Mother, by her divine light and force, works in him so that the sadhana is done. Sri Aurobindo says, It is a mistake also to have the ambition to be a big Purna yogi or a supramental being and ask oneself how far I've got towards that. The right attitude is to be devoted, given to the mother, and to wish to be whatever she wants you to be. The rest is for the mother to decide and do in you. April 1929. Question. I offer myself at your feet. Accept me as your child and show me the divine path. Give me directions and inform me what will be the attitude in the sadhana. For this, our Lord Sri Aurobindo says, that is a letter actually received, is sending the reply as what Sri Aurobindo is saying. Sri Aurobindo says, write to him that he can begin sadhana if he really or feels truly the call. He need do nothing at first but sit in meditation for a short period of time every day and try to open oneself to the mother's power, aspiring for the opening for a true change of consciousness, for peace, purity and strength, to go through the sadhana for her protection against all difficulties and errors, and for an always increasing devotion. Let him see first if he can thus successfully open himself. Date 2nd November 1929. Question. Today at soup time I remained concentrated. I felt all kinds of eccentric movements rise up, but they were not in contact with the mother. Sometimes when I concentrate to get contact with her force and touch, I feel that my head is becoming a solid block, compact, that my mind has become a vacuum. But I think this prevents the opening and permits attacks from above when the consciousness goes below. For this, our Lord Sri Aurobindo says, you write always as if all opening must be to the confused mental and vital movements, thoughts and voices. That is not so. You can be open in all your being, but to the mother alone, to the divine alone, and to nothing else. When the consciousness is filled with the mother's force, then there is the condition you speak of, as felt in the head, a solid block, compact, silent, free from all radiant thoughts and moments. But this can be felt only in the head, but in all the body and also in all the consciousness above, around and below the body. When it is like that, then all foreign intrusions are either automatically excluded, or if they come, easily observed and rejected as not one's own, not the divine's. One feels full of divine, full of the mother's force and presence, so that nothing else can enter and misuse the mind or the vital or the body. Question. Sita suffered without Rama, the gopis without Krishna. How long? How they longed for God? This will not happen to us because you and the mother are here with us. If this is the truth, why do we still feel dissatisfied at times? How to establish the truth in the mind and vital so that we have an end to the feelings of dissatisfaction? For this our Lord says, the truth for you is to feel the divine within you, open to the mother and work for the divine till you are aware of her in all your actions. The physical presence here is not enough. There must be this consciousness of the divine presence in your heart and the divine guidance in your acts. This is the psychic being which can easily, swiftly, deeply feel it. It is fully awake. Once the psychic has felt it, it can spread to the mental and vital also. Date 16th Feb 1932. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says, the advantage of being in the psychic consciousness is that you have the right awareness and its will being in harmony with the mother's will. You can call in the mother's force to make the change. Those who live in the mind and vital are not so well able to do this. They are obliged to use mostly their personal effort, and as the awareness and will and force of the mind and vital are divided and imperfect, the work done is imperfect and not definitive. It is only in the supermind that awareness, will, force are always one moment and automatically effective. Date 7th May 1932. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says you have only to aspire to keep yourself open to the Mother, to reject all that is contrary to her will, and to let her work in you, doing so all your work for her, and in the faith that it is through her force that you can do it. If you remain open to her this way, the knowledge and the realization will come to you in due course. Keep yourself open to the Divine Mother in the right attitude of surrender, and you will receive from her gradually all that you need within you. Date 21st November 1932. These are the words of our Lord Sri Aurobindo.